Thank you, Chairman Nels and Ranking Member Payne. My home state of Washington has been a longtime supporter and investor in intercity passenger rail. During my time as mayor of Tacoma from 2010 to 2017, I was proud to play an integral role in the development of a new Tacoma station in our region. Because of that experience, I know how critical it is to ensure that local, state, and federal governments all work together to put these critical investments into improving our nation's rail infrastructure, building up our workforce, and I'm pleased to hear about the work that you all are doing at Amtrak. I look forward to strengthening this federal partnership and making sure that when we put these dollars to use in communities that they are doing exactly what they intended. Mr. Gardner, I know that Ranking Member Larson touched on the strong Pacific Northwest network, and I'd like to start there. As you know, the Washington State Department of Transportation and Amtrak are currently working on the Amtrak Cascade Service Development Plan with improving service over 20 years, and specifically adding two more times that they're going to go between Seattle and Portland. Can you talk more about this timeline and when you think we can expect these two frequencies, that's the word I was looking for, to become available to the public?
Well, thank you for the question, and congratulations on the great station Tacoma. It's fantastic as part of the bypass. It's a real improvement, and you're right, the Cascades is a great service. We anticipate 2 additional frequencies in October of this year.
Oh, excellent.
Again, the states dictate when we bring service in and how much service we operate and the pricing philosophy, and so we work with our partners in Washington and Oregon on that schedule.
Excellent. And then can you talk about some of the challenges you may face in making this a reality, including equipment shortages, delivery delays, and acquiring the venture cars that you need by California and the Midwest to state support services? You had also stated that adding these 2 new frequencies between Seattle and Portland is going to depend on having enough cars available as those are being phased out. So talk a bit about some of the challenges we face in making this reality with the supply chain.
Well, thank you, and this is a major topic for us. As you, I'm sure, know, the Cascade service retired the Talgo 6 train sets that were in service there, and we've replaced those with a fleet of cars from Amtrak's National Pool, our Horizon and Amfleet equipment. And as you mentioned, the additional cars are necessary for the service, for the additional frequencies are coming from our Midwest pool that are in fact waiting on the delivery of the Siemens venture cars to the states. So there, the states procured equipment directly with funding from the federal government, and Amtrak is the operator of that equipment, but it's a delivery between Siemens and the states. We were supposed to start this year with 60 new cars as part of this program in service, but in fact those were delayed, and they are still coming into service now. I think we have about 50 in service. Our goal again is to have 60 in service. So we are making good progress, and the manufacturer and the state are working well together to deliver this equipment and get it in service, but that's why we've had a shortage of equipment in the Midwest, and that's cascaded across the rest of the network. So we're anxious to continue those deliveries, get those equipment into service, and then be able to deploy equipment to support the additional frequencies in Washington and Oregon.
Is there anything else that my colleagues and I can do in the Northwest to better support your efforts to expand this service?
Well, as you said, the leadership in Washington and Oregon and the long-term relationship and planning activities really have set the service up for success, because there's a strong vision of the service and how it can progress. Certainly, partnership with the 2 host railroads there, the primary host railroads, Burlington and Santa Fe and Union Pacific, are key, and working with them to get better on-time performance and to continue the opportunities to expand cooperatively with the host railroads is key. I think that's the main challenge in addition to equipment. I will say that our new Aero trains, the first place that they arrive is the Cascade service, so we're excited for those, and Cascades will be really the test bed for our new trains, and it's going to be a great experience, I think.
Great, thank you. And just as editorial here, as we look at passenger rail service with an aging population, fewer people wanting to drive, and a growing population, we know that eventually, these things will become more highly used, more ridership, and therefore more revenue. But it's going to take time because the United States is not as densely populated as some of the other places where they have more frequent service and more ridership. Thank you very much for being here today.